Welcome back to another MOTOBOB video where today we've got loads of new bikes and updates from EICMA in Milan, and we're going to kick off with the updated Fireblade SP in this incredible looking 30th anniversary trim. But it's not just a fancy paint job, there are some meaningful updates under the fairing, and so in this video we'll go through all the big changes to the Fireblade lineup for 2022. But before we get started, a massive thanks to XLmoto for sponsoring this video. They're running their Black Friday sale this week with some incredible discounts of up to 70%. There's riding gear, accessories, workshop equipment, plenty of it from their own branded range, but also some of the biggest premium brands like Risha, Next, Dainese, and more. There are so many good deals at the moment, and it runs through till the 30th, so check out the link in the description to find out more. Now, the Fireblade had its last major update for the 2020 model year, so a lot of the spec is still the same. It's powered by a 1000cc inline 4 that still makes a whopping 214 horses of peak power up at 14,500 RPM. Peak torque stays pretty much the same as well, so 112 Nm at 12,500 RPM, but there are some changes to the mid-range, and we'll get onto those in a moment. The chassis is unchanged too, so it's an aluminium diamond style mainframe and an aluminium swing arm inherited from their super premium RC213VS race replica. Now, the standard entry-level Fireblade gets a Showa 43mm big piston fork and a balance-free rear cushion light shock, both with full adjustability. Braking comes from Nissin with their 4-pot radially mounted calipers on 330mm discs. The SP version, on the other hand, adds a bit of premium spec with an Öhlins 43mm NPX fork and a TTX36 shock, both of which are electronically adjustable. Braking on this one comes from Brembo with their Stylema calipers and a Brembo master cylinder to match. Both bikes get a 6-axis IMU which feeds into a full suite of riding modes and lean-sensitive rider aids, and there's an electronic steering damper, full colour TFT dash, keyless ignition, and so as you can see, it's right up there with what you'd expect from a modern day top-of-the-range sports bike. That said, when it was launched, feedback from customers and reviewers seemed to be that it was a little bit too track-focused with that revvy top end and the long gearing, but it seems like Honda have been listening with a few key changes across both versions for the new model year. First up, Honda say that for smoother airflow on an opening throttle, the dirty side of the air filter has been adjusted to control the direction of intake air separation and vortex generation. On the clean side, filtered air now feeds slash-cut intake funnels with number 2 and number 3 shortened by 15mm. Also, to match, the inner diameter of the intake ports has been partially narrowed to increase airflow velocity, improving filling efficiency, thus performance through the mid-range. Mirroring the intake side, the 4 exhaust downpipes use an oval cross-section. For the 22-year model, the 421 exhaust now features a redesigned 2-section, feeding the catalyzer for optimized gas flow. That's still with that beautiful looking titanium Akropovich exhaust and the exhaust control valve that gives it a little bit more back pressure for torque at lower revs and then opens up for free flowing power as the revs climb. Now look, there are no dyno charts in the press kit, and peak torque remains pretty much the same at the same level of revs, so it's hard to quantify the exact results of this boost to the mid-range, but I'm sure we'll find out whether it's worked when the reviews start rolling in next year. On top of that, they say that supplementing this change with the same aim of improved acceleration through the gears in the mid-range while maintaining high RPM output, the rear sprocket goes from 40 to 43 teeth. So that's one of the most common complaints that the previous gen dealt with, so good news indeed, and saves owners the cost of making that change themselves after purchase. Now, the quick shifter comes as standard fit on the SP, but it's an accessory on the regular bike, and it's been updated for this year with an even quicker quick shift. Specifically, they say that it's been through development for a shorter fuel cut time while shifting and smoother torque pickup after shifting. Now, as I said at the top of the video, there's a comprehensive suite of electronics including Honda's selectable torque control, which is their name for traction control. This has been singled out for an update this year with gain slip rate control, which monitors the rate at which slip is changing based on the ratio of front-rear wheel speeds to smoothly moderate rapid wheel spin. For the 22-year model, the gap between the intervention timing and slip rate has been changed for even smoother, intuitive grip management, with software developed with wide-ranging top-level feedback from around the world, including HRC's riders. There's also a tweak to the ride-by-wire throttle with a lighter smaller return spring, which they say further enhances the response and linearity of throttle input. So basically a lighter throttle that's easier to control. Braking remains pretty much the same across the two bikes, but the standard Fireblade's Nissin calipers do get a new piston material and surface treatment to dissipate and manage heat and maintain lever feel. So essentially, if you're hard on the brakes for an extended period of time, i.e. track riding, you should get less fade through the session. Anyway, all that techie stuff aside, I assume they're going to sell plenty of the SP this year for this stunning new paint. It's a celebration of 30 years since the first Fireblade in 1992, and it's a pearl glare white base with red and bluey purple graphics over the top for what they call a tricolor scheme. Now, it's actually been designed by the same person who was responsible for the original 1992 color design, and you can see the resemblance here with the two bikes side by side. Honda say that it's instantly recognizable and all the details are present and correct, with the ultra modern feel of the 20-year model stripe layout merged with the brushstroke style elements to pay clear homage to the seminal original. Now, the SP will also still be available in Grand Prix red and matte pearl Maran black, both now with gold wheels. The standard blade just gets the Grand Prix red with regular black wheels, although the white front number board is new for this year. Now onto the price, and the standard blade starts at $19,999. The SP with the fancy suspension and brakes is an extra $3.5 grand, and then you'd pay another $500 on top of that for what is easily the best paint job of the year, and I would personally say that wholeheartedly it's worth every penny. As always though, I'd love to know what you think of it down in the comments below. It's not a major update, but Honda have clearly been listening to their customers and they've delivered some meaningful changes as well as the awesome paint job, and so I reckon it's gonna be a hit. Let me know what you think of it though down below, and if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.